Hey, it's Webs here, and it's time to arm the cannons with this new mercenary build, centered around an old favorite of mine when it comes to mercenaries, Eudora. And ever since Kazakus was actually revealed as a mercenary for the game mode, with the equipment that actually has a battle cry, I've been wanting to do something similar to this, but I just didn't either have the time or I wasn't really feeling PvP at the given moment. But I figured this would be a good way to try to get back into the swing of things, as this is a really funny build to actually play, even if it isn't the best one in the world. So let's begin. The basic idea is to use Eudora's third ability, covering fire, to either bounce back herself or Kazakus, so you can get additional uses out of their battle cry equipments. One of the key issues with this build is you're going to run out of space on your board. There are times where you bounce back either Eudora or Kazakus, and you don't have a way to put down a third mercenary when you do so. That's just a warning that I need to give, so let's go through the mercenary by mercenary breakdown. For Eudora, we're using primed armaments as her equipment to summon a 018 cannon whenever she is actually played down, and you can get this multiple times given her third ability. For Kazakus, we're using Wild Vine as his equipment, as we can get multiple uses out of this with Eudora, as mentioned before. And it is very important to understand you're going to want to put down Eudora before you put down Kazakus, because the battle cries will actually trigger in the order that you actually place them down, and you do want to buff up the cannon if you possibly can. The next mercenary on the team is Edwin, who we're using Black Flag to increase the speed of Eudora so she can instantly get her first ability off, or be able to easily get the other two abilities she has without much effort. Cariel is on this team as a big healer. We're using Hammer of the Dawn as her equipment, and you can use this in combination with the next mercenary on the team in order to just heal your entire team to full. The next mercenary in question is Sky Admiral Rogers, and we're using Swashbuckling Sash as her equipment, just even more quickly with her first ability, and she's the main way you're going to be able to deal with Trigor, to be honest, in this build. So most of the time you're probably going to put her down 4th instead of 5th. And finally, the last mercenary on the team is Sylvanas. Sylvanas is in here because we have two mercenaries that generate some type of token, and this is the perfect way to actually just abuse her. And of course, we're using Death Volley so we can actually tie up some games that we normally would lose. With that all being said, let's look at some game. All right, so time for a game, even split. We're going to put down our first three mercenaries of Eudora, Kazakus, and Edwin. Okay, they're starting with Sinestra, Yuan, and Long Shin. I really want to get the Sinestra killed as quickly as humanly possible. That's not always going to be possible. We're probably going to want to use the cannon here and hope they just don't use the ability on Edwin instead. Okay, so Edwin almost actually kills the one Long Shin, and they actually did focus down Eudora, which for them that's a mistake, but for us that's a really good sign. We should be able to instantly kill the Sinestra no matter what here. Here's the Sinestra gone, main hurdle against us, away from the board. They're going to swap the position of our two mercenaries, that's perfectly fine. And they don't actually do anything with Yuan, which is kind of a shock. Okay, we can just finish off the Long Shin. We could also finish it off by just bouncing back our mercenary. And then this should put enough space out on the board so we can put up another 20-20. And then next turn we can get a, what, like 60-60 something Kazakus if we really feel like it, because we're probably going to put down Sky Admiral here because it's a really funny thing to do. There's the Long Shin dead. There's the Edwin dead. Yeah, that's going to be what? A 54-65? Okay, so Rathian is their next mercenary. I guess they're just pure dragons. That's an interesting variant of pure dragons. I don't think it's actually that useful, but you never know. We can just start stealing all their mercenaries next turn, so that's probably what we're going to do. 54-77. I was off by like 10. They're going to try to kill the Kazakus. I understand completely why you would go for Kazakus there. We're going to just be able to start nuking some of their mercenaries out of orbit with this big of a Kazakus. We're going to get the Yulong next, I think, just to get her out of the board. And then we're going to damage the Onyxia, then heal up the Kazakus. Actually swapping to the Rathian instead of the Onyxia. Now we get one dragon on our side. Then next turn we can steal another dragon if we really feel like it in the form of Rathian. Might as well steal their entire team, right? A lot more funny than actually trying to do anything else. Then we're just going to steal Onyxia because why not? Alright, time for a game where they have an even split. That could be a lot of different builds. Could even be a mirror match, but I very much doubt anyone would be trying to copy something like this. As much fun as this build actually is, it is definitely just not the best in the world. I want to do something though where Kazakus gets buffed up as much as humanly possible and then just make him into a human tank and steal all of my opponent's mercenaries, but maybe that's for next time. I might also give Kazakus a little bit of a break since I think the last 3 builds I've made all had him in it. Well, we don't really want to attack, so we can put up a cannon, we can put up a taunt, and then we can attack or just pass the turn with Edwin. We could take the 50-50 chance of them triggering or targeting Edwin instead of Eudora, which I think I actually am going to do. Might be a bad decision in the long run, but it should still be fine. Okay, so they did kill the Edwin. That's perfectly fine. We can use Sky Admiral to actually instantly trigger Kazakus' shapeshift. Really funny way to do it. And then we can start stealing their mercenaries. Because he'll be at what? Well, it depends if they actually do damage to the golem. We could also hard attack into the Malfurion if we really feel like it. Or use firing position. Firing position will trigger no matter what. We can bounce back the Eudora. Then knowing that they're mainly just going to be able to attack over whatever, I'm very much doubting that they'll attack into the 2020. Or do any damage to it. I could be wrong, but you never know. Okay, they're going to put up a taunt up, restore a bunch of HP, then we're going to swap things around. I'm curious what they're actually doing here. Oh, okay, that's a little bit frustrating. Does get that real low. Our cannons aren't alive, so that doesn't matter. And Kazakus' attack isn't that high up either. We can put down the Eudora again to put down another cannon. We can snipe the Malfurion out of existence before they can actually re-up that. And then we can attack into, or use the Sky Admiral to steal their Malfurion. I really do want to do something where Kazakus gets as big as humanly possible, even before the changes. Or shapeshift, I mean. We don't steal it, which is a little bit frustrating. Summon an additional cannon. Gets pretty close. Sadly, we can't do the same combo as last turn. We can use that, though, and then try to steal the Malfurion again. And then use Eudora to attack into the Brightwing. They're going to put up a taunt. They're going to kill the Eudora, which is a bit frustrating. We do kill the Malfurion, and we do kill the Yulong, which isn't what I wanted to necessarily do, but it's still better than nothing. We can put down Cariel. Okay, so they have Sinestra. I kind of want to deal with the Sinestra as quickly as possible. Put up a taunt just in case. Then we'll attack or hope that actually goes through, because that's free 40 damage. And then attack into the Sinestra. Hopefully we'll be able to kill the Sinestra here no matter what. Healing up the Kazakus a little bit too. Okay, they're going to focus down the Yulong clone. Going to get the Kazakus lower. We're going to heal the Sinestra a little bit. And then we get it real low. We almost kill it here. Kazakus sadly dies. Though we can get a full heal on our entire team next turn if we use the Master Tactician on the Cariel to snipe the Sinestra. And then we can give everything plus 10 HP, Sylvanas' ability, and we should be in a pretty good position at this point. Okay, everything heals up. And then all we have to do is basically survive this turn. And they give up. Okay, so they have mostly casters, which is really good for us, depending on what those casters actually are. That's what almost makes me want to think it's nature. Okay, so that's actually a team that I haven't seen in quite a long time. I guess it is a very new player-friendly type of team. We can put up the 2020, focus down the Zyrilla, because why not? Okay, we're going to put up another cannon. Hopefully the other golem actually dies before we put up one. Or we could actually bounce back the Eudora herself, or even Kazakus, and automatically fire the cannon. Going to kill the Zyrilla. They're going to kill our minion, which is perfectly fine because we just instantly replace it. They're going to heal their Cariel for a little bit here, which is a bit frustrating, but it's still fine. Okay, so they have Malfurion. I'm assuming the bench is just nature at this point. Okay, our Edwin did die there, but that's fine. We can do what we did before, where we can actually just make Kazakus instantly eat his 2020, which is really, really funny. Actually, it depends on what the speed is and if they actually would want to focus down Kazakus or not. We can actually bounce back the Eudora too if we really feel like it. And instantly make the Eudora go off, because that should be 30 damage of the cannons. Or a little bit more than that. I might have done the positioning a little bit wrong there and should have probably bounced back the Kazakus, but oh well. Because only one of our cannons are going to fire. They both fired there. We can put down Eudora again for a third cannon. That's kind of funny. Kazakus is probably going to die this turn no matter what. We can use Eudora to attack into the Cariel. We can try to use Shadow Claws and then use Firing Position, or even just her first ability. We should be able to kill both Malfurion and Cariel this turn. They're killing Kazakus. That makes perfect sense. We don't really care too much. They killed one of the cannons, which means this isn't lethal right here. So we're only going to get one of these killed. And now we can put down the Cariel. And depending on where they put that positioning, we can try to kill Brucon first. We'll just snipe the Malfurion out of existence. Buff up the Eudora a little bit. Should have done that in the opposite order because it's going to actually be buffed after it attacks, but oh well. They're going to focus down Eudora, I'm assuming. Or not, they're going to actually split their damage between the two. That hits there, Eudora dies, but we still have the two cannons up, so it's free damage each turn. The cannon actually gets buffed up instead. And then we have Sylvanas, where we can just buff her up to Oblivion here, forcing her to use her ability second, attacking into the Brucon, and then we should be able to finish them off next turn no matter what. As long as one of our mercenaries survives while we have Sylvanas up on the board, we should be in a pretty good position. Okay, that's only 50 attack, but still better than nothing. You do kill the Cariel, and then here we should be able to snipe both of them out of existence. or they'll give up here, or not. And here we win. Okay, so it seems like our opponent has mostly protectors, which is going to be a little bit of a hassle with this type of build. But it depends on what the actual build is going to be. And here I made the mistake of swapping the order of Eudora and Kazakus. I probably should have did it the opposite. I do want to get the buff on the cannon. Okay, so it seems like they're... I don't actually know what this is. It's a weird... I guess dragons, because Kazakus is technically a dragon. See what I mean, though, by the cannon only had the baseline stats instead of actually getting buffed up. Going to summon 2 units here. They're actually going to attack with Sinestra. I guess that makes sense. They don't have access to the other 2 skills yet. We should be able to just focus down the Sinestra right here with our first ability. Unless we really want to bounce this back. We could bounce it back. That would be perfectly fine. Probably going to want to put up another taunt. Or actually just do nothing. I guess I misplayed a little bit. That does fire the cannon, and as long as they don't heal, we should be in a pretty decent spot there. They do heal a little bit, but that's fine. They're going to focus down Eudora. Eudora's cannons are going to kill the King Mukla. And here we can put down Kazakus again, buffing up all of our mercenaries once again. We should be able to snipe the Sinestra, unless they do that. Sinestra being the middle is actually kind of bad. We can still try to kill the Sinestra this turn. We can try to put up a taunt also. Vol'jin should be dead, which is really good. They put up a taunt themselves. We put up a bigger taunt. They do attack with Sinestra. That's just such a weird idea to do. Okay, so they have 2 protectors left. Our bench actually makes this a lot easier than it looks. We should focus down the Kazakus, especially because they leave it up as the leftmost mercenary. We can use covering fire to get another cannon here. Putting up another taunt. Hopefully we can get rid of the Trigor as quickly as possible here. I'm shocked they actually didn't use Trigor's ability. Okay, that's just not a good use of Trigor. We should be able to finish them off this turn. We can put down Rogers, because why not? And then attack into Trigor with Rogers and finish off Kazakus with Edwin. And even if we don't finish them off, we do have the 2 cannons to fire, so we're not in a terrible position. Okay, so Trigor doesn't die. Oh, he does anyways. Or not. I mean, he'll die this turn no matter what, but... Alright, now that we're through the game, so let's discuss my final thoughts of the build. Overall, the build didn't perform as well as I expected. It was actually pretty inconsistent. Once people figured out what you were actually trying to do, you probably were going to lose a lot more games that you would when they were just going in completely blind, because most people, when going in completely blind, would just focus down the Kazakus instead of Eudora or Edwin. But by leaving up both of the other 2 mercenaries, they opened themselves up to taking a bunch of damage from the cannons each individual turns. And as much fun I had for this build, I can't easily recommend this, especially given the current state of the metagame where Trigor is in almost every single build. You can win against Trigor. The issue is the other mercenaries that actually are sitting behind Trigor's super annoying ability, Backlash. And with that being said, if you enjoyed this video though, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye bye.